My name is Dr. Christine Lynn Norton, and I'm a senior Fulbright scholar. I've been a visiting professor at National Taiwan Normal University in the Department of Civic Education and Leadership. My home institution is Texas State University, and I'm an associate professor in the School of Social Work there. My Fulbright project is actually a teaching project, so I've been teaching one undergraduate course and one graduate level course in the Department of Civic Education and Leadership. They have an outdoor education and leadership concentration, and I've been teaching wilderness and adventure therapy. The focus of my project was to sort of further clarify and establish a model for cross-cultural bridging through the use of shared outdoor adventure experiences. I think the project really came to life teaching cross-culturally because I had to build a bridge with my students. So through experiential activities in the classroom and outdoor adventure activities like the high ropes course, river tracing, hiking, I was able to sort of put into practice the model that I had theoretically developed, and I was able to refine the model to understand what aspects need to be in place in order to really form these meaningful cross-cultural relationships. So it's very exciting for me to see that come to life through those experiential opportunities. One of the things that my undergraduate class did together was to go river tracing. I don't know if you've ever gone river tracing, but it is this uniquely Taiwanese outdoor sport where the rivers run down the mountain. So you climb up the mountain, but in the river, and you wear a wetsuit and a PFD and a helmet and special little boots, and it's freezing cold and the water is rushing at you, and it is wonderful. It is absolute intimate engagement with nature and the river. I happened to bring my entire family with me per the suggestion of my host professor, Dr. Shea, and I have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So you can imagine how challenging this was to have your 6-year-old river tracing. So my husband and I were on 6-year-old duty, and it was really challenging, but it was fascinating because my students got to see me in a different role. They got to see me not just as professor or researcher, they got to see me as mother and wife. And that was really interesting. It actually felt very vulnerable, especially since my children were sort of melting down a little bit from the challenge and the weather. It was really cold. But I was able to process the experience with my students, and I told them, because they were so kind. That whole day they were offering my kids cookies. They made us hot milk tea on the side of the river. I felt like I was in the midst of a family, an extended family that was caring for me and my family. And I was able to process with them in class the next week that I was stressed. I was challenged as a mother in this high adventure experience, managing not only myself, but the safety of my child. And I said, but all of you made that so possible because you created this caring community. And I was really able to show my gratitude to them. And again, that was part of building that cultural bridge. And it was just a very emotional moment for me and my students, and a really wonderful moment of sort of just being very human with them. I think taxpayers should feel really good about supporting this particular Fulbright project because the whole theme of the project is cross-cultural bridging. And if you look at our world today with the number of people who are migrating and immigrating to other countries and interacting cross-culturally on a global scale, it's hundreds of thousands, it's millions of people. And so this idea that we have to, as human beings, learn how to build bridges with one another across cultural divides, I think is going to be key to our survival as human communities and societies. And so this model that I've created talks about how do we join with one another through safety and empathy and shared vulnerability, and being able to talk about our emotions together, building really more trust so that we can have authentic relationships with people who are different from us. This basic level of survival Chinese has helped me really engage with my students. I'm willing to speak, quote, bad Chinese in class. And I think what it role models is that it's okay to take risks. You don't have to be perfect. And it empowers them to take risks with their English language skills. And that further helps build that bridge because we're both vulnerable. We're both taking a risk.